Hello everyone, Tony Thornton with the American Fence Association. Hope and pray that everything is well. And today is Thursday, April the 30th, and this morning is our Thursday update. I got 5 or 6 key bullet points I want to bring to your attention. There won't be anything added to the website as far as attachments, but this is just some follow-up on information that we've been working on over the last several weeks. As I mentioned to you, U.S. Homeland Security and letters were sent to them with a joint effort of AFA and CLFMI. And we have not heard anything from them and or any of the 10 states that we sent those letters out to. We'll stay on that, and we'll update you as much as we can. And know that once this pandemic is over, AFA, CLFMI, and other partners in the industry are going to continue working with Homeland and cybersecurity to hopefully be better positioned in the future. So this is one thing we've learned out of this, is we're going to be better positioned later. Hope that everybody's taking advantage of your Paycheck Protection Program and know what your CARES Act situation is. I've heard from a lot of you that said that you've already got your payment in 3 to 4 days, and some, a couple of them 2 weeks. But those of you that haven't received your payment, the comment that I'm hearing from people is stay relentless. Just stay on the phone, fussing at somebody, aggravating somebody, but just letting them know that, hey, you're due that money and you're expecting it. So follow those guidelines as best you can, and stay prudent on that. Again, being relentless is the comment that somebody told me. I got a lot of positive feedback on the OSHA and AFA guidelines that we put together for preparing your workplace for COVID-19. A lot of you mentioned that document and those forms that we prepared for you really helped you stay in business, especially with your general contractors and your commercial workload. So that was some good information that we put together, and hopefully you were able to use it. A couple of quick market updates. My professionals and friends over at the Southern Pine Market, they're basically mentioning that they're seeing an increase in demand, like everything else that we're talking about, especially with the narrow widths. And what's happening is the buyers are scrambling for coverage and dwindling availability. The cumulative effect of recent production levels will be tightened supplies in many key links. So understand what your material needs are, communicating to your suppliers, and knowing what they are. Random loads of the number 2, 2x4, and 2x6 saw an increase in price, and the demand from treaters that are supplying the box stores, those orders just skyrocketed. And we've already talked about the home centers consuming a large part of our demand, and which is taken away from the professional fencers. The bottom line is that 2x4s and 2x6s are like gold right now. Limited supply on the number 2 appearance grade or better, and the price is up, and this is demanding on inbound freight. And we've mentioned about the challenges with the trucking, so be aware, communicating to your supplier what can be expected to where you can keep this material on your yard, or at least have it available through your suppliers. Our friends in the Western Red Cedar Market, those manufacturers still have strong orders that have already been filed, and they have them in their files that's already been placed through June, and some of it in upwards part of the end of the summer. Log costs are seeing a slight increase, which is putting an upward pressure on pricing that we will probably see moving into the summer months. So be prepared for an increase on this Western Red Cedar, just like we mentioned on the Southern Pine Market. Retail sales for Western Red Cedar are up 25%, at the box mover stores. We've already talked about it. DIYers are taking our supplies and availability, and it's gonna cause us some shipping and some delivery stuff for our professional fencers, in the near future, if not already significant. There's really not a lot of challenges with the mills regarding staffing due to COVID-19. Most of these Western Red Cedar mills are in remote locations and small populations and nowhere near major cities. So currently there's no reports on COVID-19 illness in the mills. My friends over in the Southern Pine Market did mention that they had 1 or 2 mills that were affected, and a lot of them had to shut down to mitigate and prepare, much like the Western Red Cedar Market did as well. But there has been some illnesses in that particular area. Our vinyl manufacturers, my professional friends there, are beginning to have difficulty filling orders because of early shutdowns due to the COVID-19 policies and procedures that had to be implemented, the social distancing issues, and other related factors. Vinyl is already seeing a record sales in a lot of markets, not all, but most. And his feeling is that it will continue, but contractors will struggle with the supply and demand ratio. So be prepared. which means you got to get your product through your distribution centers, and the next challenge is keeping up with that installation demand. There's no significant change in pricing at this time or expected at this time, but again, the supply and demand will dictate this in the coming months. So be in contact with your suppliers to understand the delivery dates and what pricing changes may be occurring going into the summer months. My friends over in the Chainlink and tubing markets, they're not seeing much change based on the reports that we provided last week. While the demands continue to rise, the supply available is due to proper inventory already being there. Most suppliers and distributors had ramped up, preparing for the spring, preparing for the summer, knowing that the workload was going to be there, and they're inventoried and they're ready to go. So pricing should hold steady for now, but make sure to discuss with your supplier and distributor their expectations, because they're dealing directly with the manufacturers and got a better channel of communication back to the chain link and the tubing markets. The largest slowdown for chain link and tubing fence industry has been in the residential segments, and this is due, in most cases, deemed not essential or not critical by Homeland Security. And again, this is the largest segment of our fence professionals that only do residential. We already know that many markets are opening back up, so the supply is there and the inventory is there, and in most cases, the residential fence professionals will have material readily available. There are some specialty lines of chain link, maybe custom gauges or custom heights, that are somewhat hampered due to plant shutdowns that were affected by COVID, new policies and challenges with staffing. But just, again, communicating to your lead time and your manufacturers, your suppliers, to where you're better positioned to know what's going on. A couple of tidbits that I'd like to share with you as we finish up here this morning. First and foremost, I mentioned this last week. I want you to stay aware and seek as much updates as possible from our industry. How do you do that? You've got friends and networking all over the country. Reach out to them. Talk to your AFA members. Talk to the fence professionals in our industry. See what's going on with them. See how that's going to affect you. Number two, let's continue to stay safe and healthy. Even though things are opening back up, we need to be aware of what our social distancing and the policies and procedures are, to where we can continue staying open, hopefully, and we won't see an uptick or this COVID-19 return, in a couple of months after we kind of get back out there going. I mentioned last week, we got to stay motivated and focused. And I mentioned so many times that we got the most robust and hardworking individuals in our industry, and I know that's not hard for our group to do. So most of all, be that leader. Your family, your employees, your company is demanding it right now. And you wouldn't be the entrepreneur or the business owner today if you didn't know that that was a challenge already. So be that leader. Let your people know that you're with them and you're supporting them in every way, shape, fashion, or form. So as always, if you need to contact me, my cell is 972-533-3658. And please email me at tony@AmericanFenceAssociation.com. So God bless. Hope that this has helped you in some way. If there's anything that we can do, please reach out to this association. We'll be there for you, and we're going to make it through it together. Y'all have a great day.